I was actually told I had to be in the school production. I've been in 2 now. And they said, oh, you've got to be like your brother and sister now. You've got to be exactly the same. You've got to follow them up.
Do you think it is what was it? So no, it was Kirsty saying that there's a special relationship between the sexes. It's always mothers favouring their sons, and no.
No, we're sisters, and we get on like my mum is our best friend.
We can talk about absolutely anything. I mean,
Have you got brothers?
2 brothers.
Which is the favourite, Mum?
I haven't got a favourite. All my kids, every one of them are special to me.
Does that make it? You don't find you have an easy. So you don't have an easy relationship with your sons and your daughters. You're just.
No, we all talk
we're
about
more like
anything.
friends. She's a mum when we need a mum, but at the same time, if we most of the time it's like friends. She's come out with me for a drink and whatever.
We borrow each other's clothes.
We're all the same size.
We're all the same size, so we all nick each other's stuff.
What is the general, Carolyn?
Well, I think what we're talking about here is what happens between boys and girls and their mothers and fathers at different times. Because there are times when you actually feel very close to your mum or your dad, and when you're the opposite. There are times, and this is what childhood is about, it's actually about practicing what it's going to be like to be grown up. And what you need to do in time is learn to be alongside your parent of the same sex. And you have a lovely example of that, in that you can probably go shopping on the Saturdays with your mum and dad. Now, some people never make that, and that's what goes on and can carry on into grandparenthood. And you can have brothers and sisters of 70 fighting it out.
It's not until you're adult, I think, that you can evaluate this. I don't think when you're children you can actually look and say, I'm a rival to my 4-year-old brother or something. I've got 2 boys of 8 and 6 and a little girl of 2, and I treat the boys exactly the same because I'm so aware, my husband and I are so aware of this middle child syndrome.
I would agree with that. I think that you've got to work on relationships with children, and as a 3, 4, 5-year-old, you haven't got the understanding as a child to understand the feelings and emotions you're going through. And when you get older, you can then think, well, hang on, I know why I did that. Goodness, and the penny drops. And something clicks into place and think, well, maybe I shouldn't do that with my daughter or my child.
Yes,
but you can't avoid...
Hang on, Karen. Did any of you 3 feel that you were special, different, favourites? Not at all?
No, not really. See, we didn't have that because we come from a very male-orientated family. I mean, it was... Mum was the odd one out. I mean, it was 4 of us.
Yeah, but I bet Mum was the boss.
She was in charge. But no, we never had that, so we were all treated much the same. But I must be honest here, I've got 2 boys now. All right, when I had Henry Markle, the oldest one, I was hoping the second one was going to be a girl. Now, if I'd have had a girl, she'd have been spoilt rotten. Best life, she'd have been my favourite. Now, I don't know, because I didn't. I had another boy. But, George, you've got a daughter now.
Well, I had a daughter, the second mum's a daughter. But, I mean, I love her, and but I don't treat her special more than the others. But I suppose, in a way, she is a favourite, but I mean, I don't do anything.
Oh, I don't treat her any different to anybody else. Oh, I don't make her special.
The 3 boys,
George, you twist you around your little finger.
Well, she can do, yeah, she can do, yeah.
Is that the way daughters are with fathers?
With dads, yeah, I think they do, yeah. They know they can get their way. I think they can get their way with their dad more than they can their mum. Although
a daughter, you would, if she's at the station, you'll go and pick her up, you'll do more things out of the way, whereas a son, you think, oh, well, he can take care of himself. But, I mean, with a daughter, you've always got that feeling that...
you've got to protect her.
Well, yeah, that is one of the things.
Is that what... So we're like that with our daughter. I mean, I've got a daughter. We like that with our daughter. We've got... Oh, you haven't got a daughter. Well, you can't talk about it. But that's a protective thing, you feel? Where your son is... Oh, he'll get on with it.
Yeah, you feel more
if your son rang up and said, I'm at so-and-so stay.
It's just a protection thing.
But is it? You see, it starts as a protective thing. Does it develop into a different kind of...
Because we're like what sounds like your family. I've got 2 brothers, as I said before, and I can go to my mum with anything. She's my best friend. And my nan as well. I can go to my nan with anything. She's also a best friend of mine. And the boys can as well.
But what's the difference?
I mean, we're a bit like the Brady Bunch.
Is that a good thing to be?
I don't know.
Is there a difference in your relationship? Do women generally know that you have a different relationship with your father than you do with your mother?
I'll speak to my mum about private things, whereas I wouldn't go to my dad. But that's only because my dad wouldn't really give such good advice.
I speak to my mum more than I do speak to my dad about private things and that.
Yeah, but if they want to get something out of
either of us, they'll
when
go
we
to
were
their
younger,
dad. It was always my mum that used to like discipline us and that, and my dad was useless at that because it just, it just twisted you around.
With all of you, or just the girls?
All of us.
So Roy,
it was always wait till your mum gets home, not wait till your dad gets home.
You said the different... You started this by saying you had a different relationship between your daughters, or you felt that you got, because that caused the kind of buzz of dissension when you, were you saying, I can't remember exactly, that you had a different relationship?
A totally different relationship. I have to think twice before I say anything to any of my daughters. Otherwise, I've said the wrong thing. Whereby, with my sons, all of them, I can just, you know, say anything at all. And they likewise. He told me to shut up.
Oh, Mohammed?
Last night, he said, you're not going to say anything on this program. And I didn't take offence.
Oh, what was it? Oh, I see. What was
He's told his
Mohammed
brother
worried
to
about
shut
you?
up.
What was he
If your
worried?
daughter had said that, you'd have been put out, would you? If your daughter had said shut up to you, would you?
Yeah, well, actually, yes.
More than,
Why?
I think it would have been personal. I know he really didn't mean it. I know she would have meant it. Yeah.
But there's something going on there, isn't there, in our relationship with your relationship with your sons like that? There is obviously, you're looking at them differently to your daughters. You're seeing them. Is it?
They are looking at me differently. Each and every one of my
Yes, but
sons,
you must have inculcated that. You brought them up to look at you in that way.
I don't feel that way. I feel that it's natural. I feel that it came naturally from all 5 sons, not just these 2.
What?
If I've got a problem, for instance, it's the boys that ring me. Hey, Mum, you know, let's deal with this. They're incredible, you know. It's like a little army around me that will help me to deal with a problem. Or if they've got a problem, hey, Mum, can I talk about something, you know? But
hey, Mum, come on, Mum.
I love
that is compatibility of temperament. That is compatibility of temperament. I have 2 sons, and they're friends to me, and I'm friends to them. But I believe that a man has to have a daughter, and as she grows up, he begins to understand women. And when a woman has reared sons, she begins to understand, well, she understands men.
It's a bit late then, though, isn't it?
No, but it isn't, but you can pass, I can pass my information on to my son because they come and ask me questions.
Right.
And you see, boys inherit things from their mother and girls inherit things from their father. And that's often when a man, he sees in his daughter probably what he would have liked in his wife. And this is it.
What kind of things?
Well, temperament, the way they solve problems.
What makes you say that?
Personal experience and talking to other. You see, I feel very much at ease with younger men than I do with men of my own generation.
It's just because you like toy boys.
Having admitted to having a favourite, I don't honestly think I treat my children any differently, and I can honestly say that I can communicate with all of them. My youngest one especially, she's in the forces and tends to be very much more broad-minded, and I can communicate with her on any subject. I also could with my son. But my eldest daughter and my middle daughter, I find I have a problem with. I do sometimes have the feeling that if I say something, I've said the wrong thing.
Do you talk about it?
What, David?
I do. Yes, we do talk about it, but I find also that it's difficult to talk to the person in question about that problem.
I think that's sometimes one of the problems.
Yeah,
it's a communication problem in being able to actually say, okay, we'll put this on the table, this is the problem. You know, my feelings to you are like this. How do you feel?
That's right. I find that she feels that I'm putting her down, when in point of fact, probably out of all of the children, I feel more that she's the one that's going to be hurt the most then. So I feel she's very vulnerable. But when I say something, she feels I'm having a go at her, nagging. Whereas the other children take it as being, you know, okay, she said that or Mum said it. And I could speak to my son, no problem, and he would come to me.
Is this the daughter sitting you're talking about?
Yes.
Do you want to say anything? Does this upset you? Oh, I'm sorry.
I've got a word there. Sometimes it is better to say, which I have said, this is not criticism. This is just a statement of fact, and sometimes you can say what you intend to say if you just rephrase it and think about it.
Yeah, but
especially if a child's sensitive, you've got to find out some children are more sensitive than others.
This is it, and you become as vulnerable as them, though, don't you? It's very difficult then to actually not say I'm criticising you. Because most times you're saying something in the heat of the moment. If it's that type of thing, you're saying it in the heat of the moment.
You're going to have to talk to her, you know.
Yeah.
You're going to have to talk to her.
I love her dearly.
Put your arm round her then.
I can't, this one doesn't work. In spite of that, she knows I love her very dearly, don't you? But we're too close in temperament. We're very Sparky. That's just what I...
My mum, she's got a very, very strong personality.
Your mum?
Yeah. Really, everybody knows her, what she's like. She can get away with anything. And my sister, she's the eldest, and yet I'm her favourite. She's my dad's.
How do you know
He
you?
thinks
But
so. He thinks he is.
I know,
She
he
tends to
knows
be.
he is, doesn't
They
he?
go through phases. It depends what they've done
We
at the
both
time.
tend to take after her in a way because we both got strong personalities, the same as her. Like, we're not like my dad. He's...
Is he your favourite?
But, no. I don't have a favourite.
Look at his mouth. Look him in the eye. Tell him that.
I think when there's an argument, because we fought like cat and dog.
What you got?
No, I've only got the two, but no, I
don't mean a favourite as in she will always stick up for me or I get treated better. We're always treated exactly the same as equals.
Are you treated?
Always treated
You
the same.
feel
When
that?
whilst we were growing up.
Yeah. But as soon as there's an argument between us, she sticks up for me and my dad sticks up for her.
I was the referee.
I just wonder if some of these mothers and daughters, could it be like between my daughter and myself, we are so alike in temperament and we do, I can see her making exactly the same mistakes as I did at the same age, and that really sort of gets to
So
me.
that crosses the sexes there. I mean, if
Yes.
you're saying...
I
that-
appreciate what Soraya was saying there.
Yeah, that it doesn't matter really if it's your son that has the same temperament as his mother, they're going to clash.
Well, no, but we don't, because we are so alike that we get on quite well. I can see all the mistakes he's making, and I try to correct them, as a mother should. But at the same time, I can see what my daughter's doing, and I think, oh, yes, love, I did exactly the same thing, and gosh, it led me into trouble or difficulties
But
and that.
these two were... Oh, I mean, I could have killed them many times.
They used to fight.
I don't mean...
We did it.
Yeah, a boy and a girl. I mean, I used to sit there like a referee.
Yes.
She's had a nosebleed,
Referee,
I've had the jaw
that's
cut
what I was
out.
going to say.
They used to be sisters, really, yeah.
The sign
He
of
didn't
sister.
fight with boys. He fought with his sister.
Hey, Henry, we wouldn't have stood for this,
I
would we?
mean, absolutely.
You listened to what he said?
I deserve it.
Giving his sister a nosebleed.
Yeah.
He's
But she
done all
broke his
sorts
jaw
to her.
nearly. Well,
Yeah.
I've been nasty.
Well, you
I
punch
must
him with a
admit,
good
I've been
right
nice. I've been really
What you
nasty
say,
to her, but
like
she
you were
is...
saying
she's
about
my best.
temperament.
You always interrupt
Yes.
each other.
Yeah, every time.
She talks when I do, and I do when
But
she does.
Cara is very quiet, a very quiet person until she loses a rag, which he
Meg, get
knows.
out the way.
He moves. He's very much like me in one way, but in another, he's very, very soft underneath, whereas Cara is very hard underneath.
Which is, yeah, but you, like, she's very hard on top. Everybody thinks don't
Yeah,
mess
they
with
do.
Jean, you know, because she'll flatten you.
Yeah, I wouldn't mess with
But,
Jean.
Sue,
Sue, you knew he was your mother's favourite, even though you were your father's favourite. How did that affect you, knowing that he was preferred? Because that's what favourite means, isn't it? It's saying, I prefer him for whatever reasons, in whatever way. What did it? I mean, did it hurt?
Well, no, it didn't, because growing up, I always knew, well, I just felt confident, and we just, well...
What if you hadn't had... So you got your father's love, so you were secure there. What if you hadn't got that? What about if your father had actually treated you both equally, but you knew he was your mother's favourite? What would that have done to you? Or is anybody here that's kind of got the rough end of that, felt that they're quite a few, that felt that there was somebody else in the family that was a favourite? What did it do to you?
In my case, coming from a large family, 7 children, and being a twin, there was situations where I was made to feel unwelcome.
Unwelcome?
Unwelcome. And intimidated by probably innuendos and all that stuff. And being a twin, I mean...
I was actually banned.
I can't pick out many incidences. I mean, one time we went to my eldest brother's house, and this was about 15 years ago, and my sister says, oh no, we have to take him, meaning me. And when my parents' marriage broke down at the same time, was breaking down, it started to come more and more to the surface with the innuendos and all that. But it's taken me a long time to go. It's like I was set on constant guilt trips. That's the best way to describe it.
Why would you guilt? What was the guilt for?
I don't know.
You felt there's something wrong with you, presumably, because you weren't...
Yeah.
And how's that affected you?
Well, up until very recently, I used to feel guilty about it. I mean, like putting out olive branches to some of my brothers and sisters. And one recent case was my twin brother. He became a dad recently. And we had a man-to-man chat, and I tried to point a few home truths to him, and he just sort of just totally took no notice and tried to throw it back on me. But I put my bear up, and I mean, he said, let's be friends again. Whereas in the past, I tried doing that before, and he fobbed me off. So I said, if
So that's
I said, you stabbed me in the back so many times that I've still got the scars. The wounds may heal, but I've still got the scars. So at this present time, there's no chance for us being friends again.
Well, I was adopted by my nan and granddad when I was 3 months old, and I grew up to be the favourite. And one of my oldest brothers, he's like 36 now, he grew to really hate me, and I was actually banned from his house. And since my dad died in June, it's been since then that I've been allowed in his house.
What's the age group between you and your brother, though?
Well, I'm 17.
And he's
36.
He's 36.
My oldest brother's 41.
Because, I mean, like with me, I mean, there's like sort of me and my brother, and like was like 10 years between the two of us. And like we've got no problems whatsoever because, I mean, he like went away to boarding school because he was that little bit older.
Yeah.
And so there's like the distance. So, I mean, because I always thought that people who had like sort of a big sort of gap between like sort of their brothers, sisters, whatever, had like an easier time of it.
Yeah.
Rather than like when they're all together.
My true brother, Steve, he's 18, and we are like true brothers. I mean, we've never argued. I mean, we just stick together through everything.
If you were younger,
Yeah.
is there less pressure when you're younger? Do you feel there's pressure on the older one to kind of...
I don't know. I mean, I find like bit.
Like more was expected of me.
What, you're younger?
Yeah, I'm the baby of the family.
So you were more under pressure?
Yeah.
The younger one was more under pressure?
However much they achieved, I was expected to achieve as much.
Why? Mom, don't you get smiling like that, Mom. I can see that wry smile on you. Do you think did you help to create that, or is it just something they've got there?
No, I think it's something that she felt herself.
Yeah. Did you feel that, Justin? Was that part of your rivalry? Because the firstborn, his position is kind of clear, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's established, yeah. And then, yes, I felt I did. But also, just to go on from that, I was just thinking there was another change for me, which was when my sister was born, when I was 9 years old. And then 99% of the time, our family is pure love and everything. And we looked forward to her being born, and she was born at home. We went to the little cot and we looked over in the middle of the night, and it was absolutely beautiful. Then my brother and I went back to the room that we shared, and we sat down, and it was like, well, that's it, mate. You know, like things are going to be different around the ranch from now on, you know, so it's changed.
And were they?
And they were, yeah, they were, in a different way, because we were just that one step removed then.
Mohammed, are you the oldest? I can't...
Yeah,
you
the
are
eldest son, yeah.
You're the old... Do you feel that as the oldest there's pressure on you to
You know, it's interesting. I think that the thing that the eldest always, the eldest are almost like a stepping stone between, they're the experiments of the parents. Yeah. And after our birth, and we've been through a few things, the younger ones sort of look at what happened to us. Yeah. And then can learn more from us. So they almost have it better off.
Does it make it worse that you've got a famous name? Khashoggi's a famous name as well. Does that add additional pressure?
No, we've been lucky to always, been brought up as country boys. So we've never really been kept in the limelight.
Hussein, is there a difference in your position in the pecking order Henry was talking about?
Like, if you think about rivalry, right? What there tends to be is like if you're rivaling against something, it's usually for the same objective. I mean, that tends to be the definition. So if you have different objectives in what you're thinking and what you're doing, then it doesn't tend to be that rivalry because you're supporting each one's objectives. And that's what we have. We each have our role and place, and we support it, and we maybe criticize it.
So you do see a role. What is Mohammed the head of the family, as it were?
Well, there certainly is a lot of, in the Saudi tradition, there's a lot of respect for the oldest. It's like a natural thing. My father is the oldest in his family, and so I saw the respect he gave my grandfather. So it's like a natural thing passed down that he's expected to be. If
is that how you treat him, Soraya?
He treats all of us that way, yes.
Oh, Mohammed does?
Yes, he's sort of head of the family.
Oh, he's assumed it. It's there...
It's always been understood that that's it.
Right.
Head of the family.
Are you the head of the family?
Well...
Yes, you are, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Is he? Do you think of him as that way?
Well, he always
See,
was,
Mohammed does, but then he's saying it's part of his kind of Arab culture or Saudi Arabian culture anyway. But don't you feel...
But there was no rivalry between me and George against both. We all knew he was the eldest, and we respected that. And all right, little things, as I said, like for the illustration of the sweets, he always had it. But there was never any jealousy between.
I was glad that I was the second son, because my brother always kind of copped it first, and I could watch things happening to him, and then I knew what was coming. You
Copped
know?
it first in what way?
Well, because he took it first. You know, had that responsibility of being the eldest. And
did you feel that with Bernard?
Well, when you were young, if the oldest one, if you got up to mischief, the three of you, the oldest one, obviously, he should have known better, and he got the...
I've noticed that some, for instance, my ex-husband had different expectations of the boys than he did of Nabila, our eldest daughter. For instance, my third son, my fourth son, all the boys are very musical, but one of them is a professional musician. And his father's never accepted that. He said if it was Nabila, it would be okay. Music's just a hobby. He's got to go to university and get a degree. And it's been a constant battle all the while.
I think if there is rivalry between brothers and sisters, it's up to the parents to put an end to it, or try and explain to the child that they shouldn't feel rivalry with the child, with their brother or sister.
I don't think
it's not a bad thing.
Yeah, go on.
Well, it's not a bad thing. I mean, I'm the oldest and I'm my mum's favourite, and the older of my two brothers is a second sort of favourite. The thing is, I've only got O levels, and my brother the middle one didn't even get CSEs, and the youngest has got HNDs. But my mum still thinks we're better than him and more intelligent.
But in the rivalry, you learn life, don't you?
If the youngest one had been the favourite, I don't think he'd have got to his HNDs.
And we've got to the end of the show. Just like that, HNDs all without them. Take care of yourselves. See you in the morning.